Good morning, everyone. So, I have been discussing object-oriented program system. In that, we covered class, object, and inheritance. Today, we'll talk about encapsulation. Okay. So, see here. So, encapsulation. What is meant by encapsulation? Nothing but it is described the ability of a object to hold the not hold, to hide its data and methods from the rest of the world. This is simple definition of encapsulation. So encapsulation, it is described that ability of object, in the Java, all considered as a object. It might be primitive data type also. That is called wrapping. Okay. So in encapsulation it is described the ability of object to hide its data nothing but, let me say, it's a properties, otherwise variables, and methods from the rest of the world. Right? I want to restrict some data. First point, I don't want to expose that one to the world. Whatever the required to the end user, that details only I want to display. So I want to restrict the data which not accessible from the rest of the world. We have to provide, hence we have to provide access modifier to restrict the data from any other sources. We have to, for that purpose, what we have to use generally, we have to use the private, then we can only, we can restrict the data. And what is the example for the encapsulation in the real world? Nothing but capsule. See now, here we have the capsules. In the capsules, they are in the general example I am telling, in the capsule what available? In the shell, in the outside of the shell, it contains, in the inside of the shell, it contains some material, medicine powder. Otherwise, some tiny balls. They are wrap up this all medicine, otherwise any data in a one object. Encapsulation best example is capsule. If you go to the definition, encapsulation is a process wrapping data, nothing but variables and code together into a single unit. Right? Assume this is a data. They are wrapping into one single unit. And without accessing the outside of the world, we are putting into one single unit and restrict the direct access from object components. Or so the another definition of is encapsulation is describes to ability of object to hide its data and methods from the rest of the world. Why? Because of, suppose, take an example. Take an example of ATM, automatic teller machine. Customer will come, they will, what is their work, what is his work? They need some hand cash. He will come and he will give the details and he will go. But for him, it's not required what is happening inside the machine. Right? To hide that one, we are using the, one of the thing is encapsulation. So, example of that is medicine capsule. Right? The main purpose of the encapsulation is to hide the internal implementation details of the class and protect the data by controlling the access of it. So, right, we know you have aware about that access modifiers. If you give the private, it will restrict to the same class only. We cannot access that data even though next class same package as well. Public we can access anywhere. Same as the, followed by protected and default. Now, the purpose of the encapsulation is, the main thing is, we want to hide the data. And moreover, putting data into one unit. Example, encapsulation is a, for best example for the encapsulation is class, Java class. In a Java class, what it contains? Methods and variables. Clear? This is the technical example for the encapsulation. General example is medicine capsule. And rules. We have to send the data, like not rules, like let me tell one more point. We have to send the data through methods. That is nothing but getters and setters. Generally what are doing here? Generally suppose it is a class. In this class, okay, this is one separate class. Let me write here. Let me write one more class. Let me create one package name. New package. It's loading slowly. Com dot. I'm explaining encapsulation, right? Encaps sample. Encapsulation dot sample. Finish. Package has created. Now let me create one class. In this, let me create one class name as a okay, just encapsulation sample. And let me take public static void main. In this, generally what are doing? We are giving some variables, integer. Let me take AB is equal to some data. So how do we are accessing this one? Okay, how to access this one? By creating object, we are accessing this one. And this is the first point. Second point, I don't initialize anything. I want to initialize through, assume it is a constructor. Constructor has same name as class name, open braces, close braces. It don't has any return type, and it has the access modifier. Let me give the public. It is a one constructor, and we have to pass the data integer AB. Let me write AB equal to AB, and let me use this keyword, then it will assign to global variable. Then save this one. How it will call constructor? By creating object only, constructor will call. With the new keyword, let me create object for class name is encapsulation sample. Let me give reference variable as something ENC encapsulation. It is throwing error because of we have to pass the value. Let me give, it is the integer data type, so let me give 1 2 3. Let me save this one. In the object only I gave the data. If you run this one, okay, I have to give some sysout and AB. Let me save this one, then it will print on the console. Application, it's loading. Okay, see 1 2 3 printed. So how to access this one? Generally we are giving this data and we are accessing this one. In the case of methods also, we are accessing with reference variable. These things we know, but it is not recommended in the real time. We have to pass the data through methods only. We are passing through like this, right? We are passing and accessing also. Suppose you want to, let me remove this one. If I want to, okay, let me remove this also. Now, if I want to access this one, I have to create one object. Already I created. After that I want to access this one. How to access this one? System.out.println enc.ab. Then it will give the default value. Just a minute. Save this one. Then if you run this one, it will give default value 0. Integer default value 0. If you initialize anything, suppose let me initialize 999. Let me save this one. Then it will override by 0 override by 9. This is how we are accessing the data so far. Now this is not recommended. We have to pass the data through methods. We have to set the data through method. After setting the data, we have to get with the methods. That is nothing but getters and setters. Clear? Now let me write that only. We have to first set the data. For that purpose, let me take class name as a bank. Bank account, it is my class name. Let me rename this one. After that, let me take two variables. Let me take two variables. One is the string data type. Let me take name : I don't initialize anything. string data type. After that, let me take one double. Oh, not double. Let me take balance. So I declared two variables. One is name and one is balance. I am explaining one simple bank account. Now, what is the rule here? The rules in the encapsulation make a class variables as private and getter's address is public. So what is here my variable? String and double. We have to make it private to restrict the data from outside of the world. And save this one. Now I want to set the data. Right now I didn't initialize anything, right? What is the encapsulation theory? We have to set the data to methods only. So we have one method called as set method. Let me write public, return type is void, set, what is my variable name? String. So set camel case capital N M E, open braces, close braces. This is method for declaration, nothing but setting the values. This is for setting value. Now I will pass the parameters. I will give here. Let me save this one. In this, let me write variable name, again reassign it to global variable. To distinguish purpose, I will take this keyword, then it will, whatever I am giving the data, it will come inside and it will reassign it to this name. Since I am using this keyword, it will assign to global variable. Now same, copy this one, paste, set name. Now what is the second variable? Balance. Copy this one, set balance. Now let me pass parameter as a double and variable name is balance. Copy this one, let me put here. Now balance is my variable. Let me remove this thing. Balance, reassign into balance again. This is also one variable. This is also one variable. To distinguish, nothing but to remove the ambiguity. If I give this keyword, then it will assign to global variable. Now setters done, but I have to give the data, right? For that purpose, main method. In the main method, I have to pass the arguments. For that purpose, I have to create the object, right? Let me put this one to little side. So Control A, Control Shift F for annotations in Eclipse. Now I have to create object for class. What is my class name? Bank account, right? So we know with the new keyword we have to create the object. So bank account is my class name. Now object has created to class. Now let me give equal. Let me give one reference variable, nothing but address of the class. In the address or all details we can access. Now let me give one reference variable as what can I give? It's a bank account, right? So BA, BAAC, BAAC. You can give any name, reference variable. Okay. Now this is variable, reference variable. What type? Class type. What is my class name? Bank account. Now save this one. So object has created. Now what I have to do? I have to first thing I have to set the data. For that purpose, I took two methods, right? Nothing but setters. Okay, setters, right? For that purpose, what I have to do? How to call this non-static method? This is what? Non-static method. How to call non-static method? With the reference variable. What is my reference variable? BAC. So BAC dot set. Set name. Set name. See here. Set name. In this parameter, I have to pass one string. Return type is void. And what is class name? Bank account. This is my class name, right? Bank account. Now I have to set the data. Set the name. So it is expecting string. So I have to give string name as something. Let me give some name as random name, common, Narayana, something. I will give the name just to save this one. Now what I did here, I set the value through method. I pass this argument. This Narayana will go 23 line to 9th line. It will store here. Again it will go inside this Narayana inside the block. This will assign to here. Narayana, and I am reassigning to one more variable. Why? Because of equal to operator. Again Narayana, and we have ambiguity. To whom I have to assign? To distinguish, to make free from the confusion. If you use this keyword dot this, then what this will do? This data Narayana will assign to here, and it will become Control V, comments, then this variable will assign here. This is how we have to set the data through methods, right? Previous also we done, but through the parameters. But in the encapsulation point of view, we have to pass the data, nothing but arguments. It will go inside this respective method. Set name, it will store inside this variable. It will store inside this variable. Again it will reassign to make distinguish. Then we have to use this keyword. This is the keyword. It will take the data Narayana and it will assign to the global variable. Now I assigned variable for the name string. Now I have to assign one more thing, double. So for that purpose also BAC dot set the balance. Here it is expecting double value. Let me give one data of 5 lakhs dot 5 pies. Okay, 50 lakhs. Okay, no issue. It will take. Now what will happen here? Same process. I am passing argument 27th line, it will go to 17th line. In this balance variable it will store this data. Again it will come inside the block, balance, again it will reassign. To making this distinguish, we are using this keyword. Then this data will assign here in the global. Same. Now let me equal to, what is this data? 50 lakhs. Let me put here. Now what I done here? What I done in the single line? Simply I assigned integer a is equal to, simply let me write string. Up to now I did this line only through the methods, nothing but setter methods. I set the data through the method. Up to now I did this only. Done. Now what is my intention again? I want to get this one. If you save this and run this one, it won't come anything. Why? Because of after setting the data we are getting. Generally how to we are getting? With the reference variable dot method name. If it is a non-static method, we have to call with reference variable dot method name. Then it will come on the console. Right? This is we know process. This process we know. Now we have one more thing is there. That is nothing but getters method. How to get the data? Up to now I set the data. After that I want to get that data through method. The method name is getters. Simply let me write for setters, let me write getters also. Let me write public, under return type let me put question mark. Still I don't know what I have to give the return. And what is the method name? Get name. I initialized the name. It will store the inside the variable. For that purpose get name and method open braces close braces name in the camel case capital N. Now return what I have to return here? Name. So name I have to return, right? Name. In the name what it will store? Data Narayana store. What type it is? String type. So we have to give in the question mark string. Clear? Now setting done. Setters done. Argument. It is stored inside the setters and it will store inside the variable. After that we have to get that one. For that purpose I wrote one getter method. Get our variable name. Now getter for balance. Same public access modifier. Return type I don't know. Let me write get, what is my variable name? Balance. Copy this one. Get balance. Method open braces close braces and return the data. What is your data? Some 50 lakhs. Return type is double. Okay. Let me give the variable name. This data stored in the balance. So let me give this written as a balance and comma. So it is written in the one data. That data is float family. In the float family we have the double, float and double. So return type is we have to give double. Now save this one. So what I done here, first I took two variables, string and double. After that I have to set the data. For that purpose, setters, set name. For that purpose, parameters, this keyword and variables. To pass that data, reference variable dot set name. I invoke this method. I pass the argument Narayana. It will go inside the parameter. It will store in the global variable. This is first part, setters. After that we have to get, right. For that purpose, this is setter, this is the getter, right. Access modifier, return type, getter method, return name. If it is a name means I have gave here name. If it is not name, it is a number, then we have to give here get number. Clear? After that, this is for setter getter for one variable name. Sixth line, private string name. This is the variable. I set the name through method. After that I get the name. After that, ninth line, balance variable. I want to set the data. For that purpose, I took the two methods, setters and getters. First thing I set the data. How? In the 36th line, through the reference variable dot that one. Reference variable method, I pass the data, then it will store inside the 23 line, like setters. After that it will store in the global variable. After that I have to get that one. For that purpose, 28th line, getters method. After that, setters getters done. Now I want to print that one. Without printing we can't access, right. For that purpose, okay, let me write sys out. Let me write account holder name. How to call the non-static method? We know is the reference variable. BAC is my reference variable. BAC dot get name. This is the account holder name. After that, let me write system dot out dot println. Let me write balance. Narayana has some balance. Let me write. What is my reference variable? BAC. BAC dot how to get balance. Let me save this one. Right. Now setters done, getters done. I wrote system.out.println. In that I gave some data for your understanding purpose and balance. Let me save this one. Let me run this code. Open space. Right click on the open space. Right click on open space. Okay. Run as application. The .java will convert into bytecode and it will come machine level language and it will come on on the console. Account holder name is Narayana. Balance is 50 lakhs. 0.5. Clear? This is how we have to pass the data through methods. Done? This is about encapsulation. So what is the rules here? Rules is here we have to put variables as a private. to restrict the data outside of the world. That's why private name, private balance. This data not required to know rest of the world. That's why private, but we have to put this method in the public. These are all the two rules regarding encapsulation and wrapper. So we are wrapping. Wrapping means converting the primitive data type into corresponding object. We know in the Java will consider all things as a object, including primitive data type also. So in the simple words, wrapping means converting primitive to object. Then byte became wrapping class as byte. Short, short. Integer, integer. Long, long. Float, float. Double, double. Char, character. So see now, these are the primitive data types after wrapping class. Class because of we are writing in the place of small b, wrote uppercase B. So it will inside internally it will wrap it and it will consider as a object. Okay, yeah, simple topic, encapsulation. Clear? Encapsulation is the describe that ability to object to hide the data and methods rest of the world. Otherwise, another definition, encapsulation is the process wrapping the data variables and methods together into a single unit and restrict direct access from the object. So how to have to pass the data? Through the methods. Which are those methods? Nothing but getters and setters. What we done here setters in the setters? We done in the setters, we initialize nothing but we initialize the data through method. After that, it will store into the global variable. After that, we have to get that one. Further purpose, getters. After that, we have to create the object for the class. After that, we know the fundamentals of the Java is we have to invoke the non-static methods with reference variable. I done here 35th line, 36th line. After that 37, 39 accordingly. After setting we have to get. So it will print on the console account holder name and balance. That's it about today class encapsulation. So we'll meet next day, nothing but Friday. Tomorrow, okay, sir. We'll meet next day. Bye bye.